Hello and welcome to another Get the Word YouTube video. Today we're going to be continuing our breakdown of the Hebrew Alephbet letters. I really appreciate all of you who are coming back and listening, who really want this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. If you haven't already, make sure you like this video. If you like it, it'll make sure that other people are able to see it. Comment down below if you have anything that you'd like to ask, if you don't understand something. Make sure you subscribe to stay up to date with us and hit that notification bell so that you know every time that we post something. So we'll just go ahead and get right into this. Today we're talking about the Hebrew Alephbet Dalet. And the Hebrew Alephbet Dalet is the fourth letter in the Hebrew Alphabet. The Hebrew Alephbet Dalet corresponds with the number 4, and I make sure to say that every time because it's not gonna be the same every time. The Hebrew pictograph for Dalet is a door. The door is to help invoke a picture in your mind. So every one of these Hebrew Alephbet pictographs, you should remember these so you can easily remember the meaning, because that's what it's there for. The Hebrew Alephbet is just so precise and so unique. They have their own colors, sounds, and everything. The meaning of the Hebrew Alephbet Dalet is door, pathway, or access. The full spelling for the Hebrew Alephbet Dalet is Dalet Lamed Tav. So if we break that down, Dalet, we already said, means door, access, pathway. Lamed, it means government, to govern, shepherd, control. It can also mean to teach. I don't have that on there, but it can also mean to teach. Tav, it means covenant, cross, mark, or to identify, like X marks the spot. And so if we put all these together, it means to the access to the government based on being in covenant. And we know that is true. The scripture talks about that, because we know that once we come in covenant, once we accept Yeshua and we take on the covenant, that we become kingdom citizens. That's how we gain access to the government. Just like nowadays, if you're born into a country, you're a citizen of that country. That government makes sure that it gives you all the privileges and the rights that comes with being a citizen. Once we become born again, we are a citizen of the kingdom, and we have access to its government, and we have access to its principles, its laws, its precepts, its things like that, that work in our favor if we just practice the laws, if we abide by the laws and practice the principles. So I remember back when I wasn't getting this teaching, I used to think being born again was such a super spiritual thing, and it is, but to grasp the concept of it isn't so difficult, because you just think of it as, for me to be a citizen of the country that I became a citizen of, I was born there. And the way you become a citizen of the kingdom of heaven is be born again. So the first scripture we'll look at is John 10:9, and this is Yeshua talking. He says, I am the door. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved and will go in and out and find pasture. See, Yeshua is the door. He is the path, or the way, or he's the way that we gain access to the kingdom, going through him, confessing him, and he is the Aleph Tav. In Revelations it says he is the Alpha and Omega, but that's just a bad translation. He said he is the Aleph Tav. And Aleph it can mean leader, and Tav, it can mean covenant. He's the leader of the covenant. So he's the one who's the leader of the covenant that you go to through him, that you're able to be back in right standing with Elohim and become a kingdom citizen yet again. So Deuteronomy 5:12 it says, observe the Sabbath day to keep it holy, as the Lord your Elohim commanded you. See, this four right here, this is the fourth letter of the covenant in the what people call the Ten Commandments that Elohim gave Moses. But anyway, back on point. Um, if we look up the word Shabbat, um, and I'll put this up on the screen since I don't have it in the notes. But if you look up Shabbat, it's spelled Shin Bet Tav. Shin, it can mean to consume or destroy. Bet means family, and Tav, it means covenant. But Shin, it could also mean provider of peace and protection. So if we put it all together, Shin, the provider of peace and protections, Bet, family, Tav, covenant. So, and we know from keeping the covenant, Elohim told us that he would do certain things for us, and I'll put that scripture up on the screen also. So basically, how this correlates with the number 4 is if you keep the Shabbat, that's how you gain access to these benefits that Elohim laid out for us. You know, Dalet again, access to the government of the covenant. So if you keep that covenant that Elohim laid out, which was the Shabbat, the government will work for you. You see, if you do what you're supposed to do and keep the Shabbat, you gain access to the government benefits, which, like I said again, I'll lay out and I'll put on the screen. So that's how that correlates. Keeping that covenant that Elohim laid out, which is the Shabbat, that's how you gain access to the governmental benefits that Elohim laid out for you. So, words using Dalet, knowledge is a word. If you look it up in the Hebrew, it used Dalet. It's spelled Dalet, Ayin, Tav. No, not Tav. That's a high at the end. I'm sorry. Dalet, we said, is access, pathway, door. Ayin is to reveal. Eye, look, experience. And high on the end mean what comes from. It can also mean itself, behold, or a revelation of heaven and earth. So knowledge is what comes from having access to what is revealed. See, we revelation and an illumination is two different things. Revelation is basically like it's the beginning word of it is to reveal. Revelation, reveal. So if I just reveal something to you, that doesn't mean you understand what I'm saying. I can pull something out of my pocket. Let's say I could pull a phone out of my pocket and that's revealed to you. But just because you see the phone doesn't mean you understand what that phone is or how it works or what it does. So illumination is understanding. So this is what it means when it says knowledge, because knowledge is just revealed information. That's all it is. Understanding is when you grasp that knowledge, once you conceive that knowledge. So what comes from having access to what's revealed, when something is revealed to you, when some information or something like that is revealed to you, that's knowledge. So that's what that's saying. Another word that is used that is used with Dalet is the Hebrew word dabar, and it means word. When the scripture where it says it's the honor of Elohim to conceal his word, that's the Hebrew letter word dabar. Hebrew word dabar when it says word. So Dalet again is access, pathway, door. Bet is inside, family, house. Resh is high in the mind, ruler, prince. And we'll go over all these words. So if you're not, getting it, we'll go over it. So, yes, the bar, it means, when you break all this down, is access to the insides and high in the mind. See, if I'm having a thought or if I'm thinking of something, or if I have an idea, I'm using the language that I know, um, whether it's English, Spanish, whatever. I'm using the language that I know to think of that in my mind. If I want to get what I'm thinking to you, I would speak words to you, and those words, if you speak the same language as me, if you can grasp what I'm saying, those words will enter into your mind where you will contemplate and process so that you can understand what I'm saying. So this is what this saying right here. Words are what goes on the inside of a person and behind their mind. Words are how you gain access to a person's brain or mind or their understanding. If I want you to do something, I don't sit there and just, if I want you to pick up that hammer off the table, I don't sit there and randomly make hand gestures and things like that. If doing that, I'm not going to be able to get in your mind what's in my mind so that me and you can work together to get, you picking up this hammer done. I would speak words to you, and those words are how I gain access to your mind, and to your understanding so you can grasp what I'm saying. So, that's another word that uses the Hebrew letter word, the bar. So that is it. The Dalet is a short one, and there'll be other short ones. Cause we're doing so many of these. I don't want these to all be so long. So yes, I appreciate you guys for listening again. Also, once again, if you have any questions, make sure that you leave them down below. Once again, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And we thank you once again, and shalom.